Okay, so last week you were supposed to go to this particular website and you had a ton of different choices. So you could have spent a lot of time going through them, or you could have spent very little time and just picked one. Either way, it's going to be kind of exciting to see what you guys picked. And I hopefully you guys, um, could tell us whether it's a folk tale, if it's a fable, if it's a tall tale, if it's a myth or a legend or a fairy tale. And you're going to give us a little summary, and then you were supposed to create a wordle to go with it. So, Nicholas, do you have a question, or would you like to volunteer to start?
Uh, well, I I I just have a comment. Um,
Okay.
I when I was looking through myths and legends,
Uh huh.
uh, because I started there first, I found this thing called the New Jersey Devil,
Okay.
and what's really cool is it was a ghost story, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is my dad, when he was in fifth grade, he had to rewrite that story. So,
Oh,
and I
see?
read I read what he rewrote because it was in his scrapbook.
How funny is that? I mean, this is a pretty common thing that, these folk tales, they've been around for a long time. So that's really cool that you were able to experience it through your dad as well, and when he was in 5th grade. That's really cool. All right. Do I have any volunteers to go first? Okay. All right, Nicholas, let's go ahead and we could have you go first. Um, can I share your screen so you could bring it up on your screen?
Well, I don't. Oh, you could try.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're using your iPad. That's fine. I'll just go to because you shared it with me, so I'll just pull it up from where you shared it.
And I also posted on the website. Then I posted a screenshot of the page.
Oh, perfect. Let's just do that then. That'll be even easier. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, look, it showed up on this one, so this is even better than looking on that other form. All right, Nicholas, tell us about what you chose and go ahead and take it away.
Well, I chose the Fighting Roosters and the Eagle. It's well, the summary it says Red Rooster and Black Rooster did not like each other, but when Red Rooster flirted with the hens, Black Rooster pulled a fight. They fought on until finally Black Rooster bit Red Rooster in the shoulder and won the duel. Black Rooster climbed the high wall and screeched in delight, but Eagle saw him and swooped in for his next meal. Eagle stored away dinner in his clutches.
Okay, so what type of folklore was this, Nicholas? Was this a fable? Was this
It was a fable.
okay, good. So fables often have a moral or a lesson that somebody learned. So what was the lesson from this?
It was pride comes before destruction. I just took the screenshot after I typed that in. I mean, before I typed that in.
Oh, before you typed that in. Good.
It didn't count.
So yeah, does anybody have a comment on this particular fable, or do you have any questions about the lesson learned that pride comes before destruction? Anything that you'd like to ask Nicholas? All of your microphones are on, so you can just talk, or even a compliment. All right, Nicholas, everybody's feeling rather shy today, I guess. So, um, I will say that you did a very nice job, and I'm glad that you were able to pull out the. Okay, so Jacob wrote into the chat that that was a great job. Um, I'm glad that you were able to pull out the moral of the story, and you did a nice job with a short and sweet little summary. So that was great. All right,
Thank you.
volunteers to go next. Okay, Jordan will. So, Jordan, I'm going to make you the presenter so that we'll see it on your screen. So, if you haven't done this already, guys, you should probably, pull it up on your screen so that it's there and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody except for Jordan because I'm getting some background noise. So Jordan, you should see something that says "Make me the presenter." Go ahead
Um,
and do that when you're ready, and then when you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
I don't see anything.
Okay, I'll try it one more time. Do you see something now that says "Make me the presenter"?
It's kind of loading or something.
Oh, okay. Why don't you, while we're waiting for your screen to come up, tell us the name of what you chose and what type of story it was?
Okay. It was the Lion and the Beetle,
Okay.
and it didn't really say what it was. It said it was either a fable or a fairy tale,
Oh, okay.
and I think I'm not really sure which one though.
Well, did you learn something from it? Like, was there a lesson learned? Because,
Yes.
okay, then it was a fable. Because a
Okay.
fable always, like, teaches some kind of lesson or whatever. So, okay. Do you see
Okay. There we
something where your screen should be coming up yet, or?
go. It's still loading.
Oh boy. All right.
Okay. Here. Okay. Wait. I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. The Lion and the Beetle is a story about a very vain and prideful lion who had jewelry so heavy that he could barely stand up. All the lion cared about was him, and thought he was the mightiest creature of all. Later the lion gathered all the animals to bow down to him. When the lion saw the beetle, he thought the beetle wasn't bowing because the beetle was so small. The beetle said to look closer. When the lion did, his jewelry was so heavy that when the lion looked down, he lost his balance and went rolling down the hill into a big pile of mud. All the animals laughed. The moral of the story: it is the high and mighty who have the longest distance to fall.
Ooh, very nice, Jordan. So yeah, this lion obviously had a very, very big, large head, and they kind of tricked him, to look down. And then what do you know? He took a big tumble. So scroll down a little bit so we can see your Wordle. Very cool. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the microphones. Any questions or compliments for Jordan? Go ahead, Nicholas.
It the summary really captured the parts of like the important parts,
Yeah, it absolutely did. We didn't get
and
all of
the
it.
Wordle had a lot of good words.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Jacob said that he liked it too and that it was very nice. All right. Okay, I agree, Jordan. You did a great job. This is interesting. A lot of times it looks like you guys are preferring to choose fables. And fables teach a lesson. So a lot of times you're more familiar with those. All right. So we are going to go to a new person. Do I have a new volunteer to go next? How about Josh? Josh, are you ready to show us your work? Looks like Josh might not actually be on. It looks like I can't make him a presenter, which is kind of strange. I don't know why. Josh, if you can hear me, email your work to me right quick so I could pull it up at the end. Autumn, would you like to go next? Autumn. I'm not sure where Autumn is either. Can anybody else hear me? Just say yes, you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Autumn says it won't let me open the link. Well, you should have done it on, a Google Doc in your own drive. So maybe you can go and try to find it. Okay, so that leaves Jacob. Jacob, are you ready? Okay, so let's make Jacob the presenter. So Jacob, make sure that you have it on your screen and you're ready to go. Okay, you're going to have a button that says make me the presenter. Just click yes and then start pulling it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right, like a boss. There we go. That's Jacob's screen.
Minecraft?
All right, we're seeing something. Okay, Jacob, so your microphone is on. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what type of story you chose and read it to us, and then you can show us your Wordle. Jacob, can you go ahead and read this for us? Jacob, yes, we are there. I think you can hear us. Jacob, would you like me to read it for you? Okay, Nicholas, so let's stop the piano because it looks like Jacob is ready to get started and to read the story that he chose. All right. Jacob, not sure what's going on here. Can you just, say Idaho potatoes maybe and see if we can hear you? All right, Jacob, just for the, sake of time here, I think I'm going to have to read it, okay? All right. So, Jacob, it looks like he chose something called Idaho potatoes. In Idaho, they are proud of their potatoes. They have the biggest and the tastiest potatoes ever. They feed they feed the potatoes like a family. They feed them milk and corn for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so Jacob, what type of story was this? Ah, Jacob has gotten kicked off or something. He is not there anymore. All right, he's not with us. So, woo! That was some technical difficulties. Not good. All right, Nicholas, why don't you go ahead and turn your webcam off for today? I think you're good. Let's see. We have Lucas and Autumn with us. And Lucas, were you able to complete assignment number 2?
Yes.
All right, Lucas, can I make you the presenter?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to see Lucas's screen.
See here.
Okay. Yep, we can see your screen now, so this is good.
Okay, cool. This is my Wordle.
Okay.
I did the Shaggy Dog.
Oh, all right. Was that on that website?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
And
interesting.
I did a voice summary.
Okay, great.
I recorded myself
Perfect.
doing the summary.
Okay.
There was a lady who was traveling from England to her home and lost her pooch, her dog.
Hey, Lucas, why don't you pause it and we're going to start it over and you're going to turn your speakers all the way up.
Okay.
And you know what would be even better? Is if you had your Wordle play or like showing at the same time. That would be really cool. If you can
Okay,
press.
let me just see something real quick.
Okay. Okay, make sure your speakers are up and go ahead and play it again.
There was a lady who was traveling from England to her home and lost her pooch, her dog. He, he was a very shaggy dog, probably the shaggiest dog in the world. The only way you could tell if the front and back of him was if when he wagged his tail. She the old lady started putting ads in the newspaper about her very shaggy lost dog in almost every newspaper there is. There were from the people started coming to knock and knocking on her door, and they always had a dog. She came quickly to the door and she said, "Not, not, not shaggy enough, not shaggy enough here, not shaggy enough there, not shaggy enough here."
Okay.
From everywhere from the north to south, the east and west. She couldn't. Nobody had her dog. But one day she heard footsteps in front of her house. She ran to the door and opened it, and she said, she fainted right there and said, "Not, not that, Shaggy." The end.
All right. All right, Lucas, your microphone is still on. Can you tell us what type of story this was?
It was I think it was a European uh,
Oh.
legend or
Oh,
something like that.
yeah. Well, it definitely was European because they were talking, and I can look at some of these words and you can tell that they're English, um, like from Britain type of words. So that's great. So you actually went to that website and you probably went down here to these European American folk tales.
Yeah, yes, I
And
think.
that's kind of interesting that you grabbed or that you found that story because we actually here in America made an entire cartoon about, Shaggy the dog and all that. So it's kind of funny how those stories just, live on and kind of
Well, I
change
haven't
form.
heard of that cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it
Oh,
became a cartoon, obviously years later after the original story. So I'm glad that you guys were able to be exposed to all of these different, types of stories. And then I'm really excited that somebody went and found, something from another country as well. So that was pretty cool. All right.
uh-huh.
So, and
Thanks.
yeah, you did a great job. Anybody else want to give Lucas a compliment or send him a private chat message? That's fine too.
I liked his world, how much words it had.
I did too, Jordan. He actually, yes, Lucas, you found a ton of important words from your
I
folk tale.
actually cut and copied the original story from the website and put the whole entire story onto the Wordle.
Oh, wow. That's actually a really cool idea. Wow, because you can get the entire gist of the story that way. So that's a different way to do a Wordle, and that's just fine. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
And Autumn said that that was amazing. All right.
thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to check my email just to make sure. Nope, I don't have anything from Autumn or Jacob, so I'll check again in a minute. But here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you what assignment 3 entails. And we're going to just kind of briefly do like a little practice assignment 3 together so that you know what you're going to be doing on your own. So now it's time for you to get creative. You are going to write your own folk tale. So, and it doesn't actually have to be just a folk tale. It can be a fable. You can write your own myth. You can write your own tall tale. And you guys know all of the different types. Of course, you can go back to the main page and refresh your memory. So it could be any of these different types. It doesn't have to be just a folk tale. So whichever one of these you like the most, you can kind of, choose and write your own. And of course, if you ever need to go back to tons of different examples, that website is still there for you to look at different examples. So let's just take a look now. So you will write your own, I should say, folklore story. Use this planning guide to help organize your story. So you'll click on it. And so this is how you're going to kind of organize your thoughts. So I'm going to turn your microphones on here in a second, and we're just going to pretend we're writing one together. Okay, so I'm going to bring up Sketch. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I can actually write on the screen. Oh, good, and I'm getting a message from Jacob that he sent me his assignment. So at the end of class, we can go back, take a look at that as well before I give you your Ameritown jobs, because I know you're all dying to know those. All right, so here we are. Okay, sorry, let me pull up my pen. Not having a real good time getting Sketch to come up here for me so I can write on top of this. All right. Oh. Huh. All right, that's not working right now. Interesting. All right, so we might not be able to write on top of this, but let's just kind of do this together. All right, the theme of your story. This is going to be like if you're going to choose a fable, the theme will definitely be the lesson learned. So that's where you would write, like the lesson learned. If you're going to do like a tall tale, then let's go back to what a tall tale is. And it's, what kind of unbelievable element? Something like what was really exaggerated. And you could think of something like Paul Bunyan, and, his size was exaggerated. So that's what would go in the center if you chose to do a tall tale. Now let's see if maybe you chose to do a fairy tale. In that center box, you would probably write some kind of what was the fantasy feature. So was it trolls? Did it have mermaids? Like what kind of magic would be in your story? So that's going to go in that center box. So like I said, if you chose to do like maybe a fable, in that center box, I would put the lesson that is going to be taught from your story. So whatever it is that your characters are going to learn would go in that center. And Jordan asked, does it have to have magic? If you choose to do like a fairy tale, a lot of times those have the magic involved. So that would be more of the fairy tale. If you choose to do a myth or a legend, then you're gonna make sure in that center box you have something like a supernatural type of hero character. Yeah, so a folk tale, if you choose to do just a good old fashioned folk tale, that's something like it explains why something is the way it is. So maybe in that center box, you want to explain why the birds fly south for the winter, or maybe why the trees are bare in the winter, something like that. It in this center box you would explain why something is the way it is. And obviously, we live in 2013. We know the scientific reason behind a lot of things. But imagine that you lived like 1,000 years ago and you were trying to explain, and you had no real idea why, the things happen that the way they do. So maybe you've wondered about something before in your life. And let me just ask you guys that question. Have you ever wondered about anything, and why it is the way it is? Your microphones are on.
Um, well, I've wondered if what. Well, I wondered why you can uh why there's so many things that are the same thing in mathematics. You just have different ways of doing them.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, maybe you would, make up some kind of story to explain, why things happen the same way in mathematics. Yeah, that's a good example. I mean, a lot of times, I think of nature and explaining why things are the way they are in nature. Um, but if you want to do a story about mathematics, that's totally fine. And I just got a message from Jacob. He's saying that he wants to do something like the lightning thief. So he wants a big, big, important character. So he's probably going to write a myth or a legend because it's about some kind of supernatural hero type of character. So really, it kind of depends on which one of these you choose to do. What's going to kind of go in that center box. I'm just going to pretend that right now I'm going to do a fable. So I'm going to teach somebody a lesson. So there's a really important lesson that, what goes around comes around. Okay, so if that's the lesson learned, what goes around comes around. Maybe I could have characters that, it's a bunch of animals, and I could have, it doesn't really matter. You can choose, you can do people if you want, but a lot of times folk tales and fables involve, animals and that kind of thing. Animals that end up having human qualities. So maybe, in this case, it's going to be like a rabbit and his family. The problem is, well, what goes around comes around. Maybe this one particular rabbit treats everybody really badly, and then all of a sudden, the solution is in the end, he learns the lesson that nobody's with him anymore, and nobody stood behind him when he needed it the most because what goes around comes around, and he deserved to not be treated well. Just something like that. The setting, it doesn't matter. I mean, Um, you could choose wherever you want this story to be. I will say a lot of these, happen to be like in the forest and that kind of thing because it does oftentimes deal with nature, but it doesn't have to be. It could be whatever you want. And yes, Jordan asked, could you use personification? Jordan, why don't you tell us what personification is? Because yes, please do use
I
personification.
know what personification is.
Good. Well, let's have Jordan tell us.
Um, it's where like you give a non-living thing a human quality.
That's right. So most of these different types of stories have personification. So they have some kind of animal that has human characteristics and human qualities. Or it can even be like a tree, something that's not alive that has a human quality. Like a tree doesn't really talk, but perhaps in one of these stories it would. So that's kind of really the basics behind assignment number 3. It's actually pretty easy. The planning guide will help you organize your writing, and hopefully you noticed from a lot of these stories that they don't have to be like 8 pages long. There are some really good stories that were only like a paragraph long, maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs long. Um, I'm not going to put, a limit on how many pages this needs to be. Um, I mean, obviously, it's going to be at least one paragraph, but maybe it's going to be longer. Maybe it's going to be 3 paragraphs. But don't write like 5 pages. That's not necessary. Just get your point across as concisely as you can. Then you're going to have some kind of visual representation. So it can be another Wordle. You can draw a picture. You can go and just find images that you like. That part is really up to you. And then the really fun part is you have, like 2 weeks to do this. So on May 13th, during that virtual classroom, we will present them. So, all right. Are there any questions on assignment number 3?
So to get to that map story mapping thing, we just click on the map planning guide
Yep.
link.
Yep, you just click on this and it'll take you right to that. So you might have to print this page out, see how you get the little icon to print it out. Or you could just, kind of do it in your own notebook. And this is just a way to organize your thoughts to make sure that you have all of the important elements of your story. And yeah, it's kind of helpful to have a little planning guide. All right, guys. So if there are no other questions, I'm going to, let's see here. Let's look at Jacob's story right quick that he did. And then I will give you your job assignments for Ameritown. So it looks like this was a tall tale. And okay, so let's just kind of read this story silently. Oh, okay. So look, I see personification already. These potatoes talk, apparently, and they say, "Roll over, you're crowding me." Okay. All right. They grow bigger anywhere else. Tall tales, remember, have an exaggeration, some kind of exaggerated element. The size of the potatoes. This man got trapped for 8 hours underneath a potato. Yeah, so you can see right away that the important part of this story, guys, is that it's a tall tale, that we have exaggeration, but it's also explaining Idaho potatoes. There is a real thing, Idaho potatoes. They are very famous for their potatoes, but this is just kind of making it more fun to read about. So this is cool. Tall tales are awesome. I hope at least one of you choose to write a tall tale. That'll be fun to read. All right. Are we ready? Do we want to know what our job assignments are?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have to have your job even though I'm not going to the field trip?
Yeah, no, Lucas, you actually are done for today. All that you need to do are the actual assignments, but you don't have a job because you won't be there.
Oh, okay.
So I will see you on Thursday, Lucas, and we will have our interim test virtual classroom. So everybody will come at 8:30, and so I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay,
See
bye,
ya.
Lucas.
Bye.
Wait, on what day?
On Thursday of this week, we are going to have our very first interim test, and we're going to kind of do it during the virtual classroom so that there's no questions. So yeah, that's all. Okay, so let me just find. All right. Sorry, I guess I should have had the email pulled up. You guys are probably, come on, Mrs. Bruns, find it. All right. Okay. But I will tell you that you're all going to be very happy. Don't worry there. I know. You guys are salivating at the mouth. It's going to be okay. Dang it. Oh, gosh. I might have to email these to you guys because I have like 8,000 assignment or emails. And really, that's actually not an exaggeration. I think I probably do have like 8 million emails.
Are you tall tailing us?
Yeah, no, I don't mean to be, but I thought it'd be really easy to. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is cool. All right. Okay, I'm ready to show my screen. So, here we go. Josh and Jacob both. You are both computer operators at the bank. So, very cool job. Um, very close to, being a teller, but pretty much exactly what you guys wanted. You get to work at the bank. Jordan, you are a designer and salesperson at the sign and print shop. And Autumn, we played on a lot of your social strengths. You get to be an ad agent and a typist, basically, at the newspaper. So, a very cool job as well.
What
Very,
about me?
very social. Who said that?
I did. Nicholas.
Oh, Nicholas. Nicholas, I think you're a teller at the bank. So,
Yay!
you're definitely at the bank.
Then, I don't. If I'm at the bank, then I'm definitely a teller because I didn't sign up for anything else.
Well, yeah, I mean there's a couple different options at the bank, but you are yeah, you're a social guy at the bank. So don't worry there. So for some reason this one doesn't seem right to me. I'm going to double check this. I might email you if this is wrong, Josh, but Nicholas, I know you're definitely at the bank. So
And a teller is someone that gets the money out of the bank, right? And gives it to the people.
the teller, and they have a lot of different jobs. I mean, they kind of don't do just one thing. So yeah, it's gonna be fun no matter what. Oh yeah, Nick, I just looked and double checked. Yes, you are actually a teller. And Josh and Jacob are computer operators, but the three of you get to work at the bank together, so that's kind of cool. But all right, guys, this was fun. I hope you're excited. I'm very excited. I'm gonna see you in person on Wednesday, and then I will see you in the virtual classroom on Thursday, and then I will see you again in person on Thursday. All right.
Wait,
Yeah, go
hold
ahead.
on. If our job train or our staff meeting is on Thursday, what about the interim test on Thursday?
Oh, well, the timing doesn't necessarily overlap. So our job training is on Wednesday. And then you have a virtual classroom at 8:30 on Thursday morning, but then you don't have to be to the school until 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.
Okay.
And the virtual classroom is not going to take that long, trust me. So,
And then where is the staff meeting?
I'm going to meet you in the front of that building. So if go back to your little reminders or whatever, it's at Lone Tree Elementary, and I will meet you in the front and I'll walk you to the classroom that we're going to go to. Okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.